Moving on from the airports to the seaports. You see, the seaport, like the airport, also plays an important interface in connecting international supply chains, international logistics networks. And here the seaport is, of course, the interface between the land transportation and the sea transportation. Of course, the location of a typical seaport is along next to the sea, connecting the land and the water, or along rivers, big important rivers. And let's say if you park your car in your parking space, then this is a parking space. If a ship parks in the port, we call this space a berth or berthing. This means a ship stops in the port and the equipment of the port is used to load or unload the vessel. In the port we have the infrastructure of the port. The infrastructure are those parts of the port which cannot be moved. They are fixed, static. These are, for example, the big long quay lines, the docks, the street system within the port. On the other hand, we have the superstructure, though these are the major equipments, the main buildings that are built on top of the infrastructure. For example, the warehouses, the crane systems to handle the loading of the ships or the trucks that arrive in the port. But the superstructure also includes the information and communication system. So the software system that is used to manage the port, that supports the management with decision making, the analytical systems, the administrative systems used for invoicing, managing the customers, etc. So the port connects the sea with the land, and the land area that can be accessed by a port is called the hinterland. Hinterland is actually a German word that is used in English, and as the hinterland of a port, we say the hinterland of a port is that area of the port that is serviced by this port. There's not a specific definition what is the radius around the port that is called hinterland. It is mainly that area that is serviced by a specific port. For example, Port Sohar, the hinterland of Port Sohar is Muscat. Many goods that have the destination or the origin in Muscat travel to or from Sohar outside the world. So therefore, because Sohar is servicing the Muscat area, Muscat is the hinterland of Port of Sohar. And one of the most important ports in the region is the container port in Jebel Ali in Dubai. This is one of the most important ports in the Gulf region. You see here the superstructure of the cranes, the berthing container ships along the key lines of the port, and the storage area for the containers, the street system for the containers, and here are more ships berthing on another terminal, another container terminal to the right side that is not shown on this container, though this is a very important port area of Jebel Ali. Now on the other hand, we also have inland ports. Inland ports are not common in Oman, but in other countries where rivers play a more dominant role, inland ports can be very important. The biggest inland port is in the city of Duisburg, operated by the company Duisport. This is in West Germany, roughly 120 kilometers away from Aachen. And Duisport is very important for the region because it is a hub, an interface between the containers often containers that arrive on the river in Duisport and then are transshipped to other ships and brought to the port of Rotterdam in the Netherlands, or they are transshipped to trains on railway tracks, and via railway track from Duisport you can reach through Russia to China. So this is an extremely long distance on the land, and there are, I think, 2 trains per week to China. So if you manage to get your container to Duisport, you can transport it until China. So therefore this is a very important transshipment point in a global supply chain. Here you see another example where the transshipment is happening. Here you see in Duisport the trucks bringing containers inside the port, and then the containers are transshipped onto railway. Though also this is a port, the transshipment might happen from land transport via truck to land transport via train. So all 3 modes of transport, or train, land and sea, are supported by this by Duisburg, and therefore this is one reason why it's a very important centralized hub for cargo transportation in Europe. There's no people transportation going on in this port, it's purely focused on cargo.